Hey peeps, how you all doing out there on the worldwide wonderful sister Elle here with you for the solar eclipse in Cancer. Yay! Happy birthday Cancerians, and for those yet to come. I hope you all had a great time, those Cancerians who've already had their birthdays. Okay, so as we know, Cancer is ruled by the moon, one of the major planets within our solar system, and it rules our feelings, our intuition, it rules the water within us. And as we are 70% water, that's quite a bit. That's quite a bit of emotions. Obviously, water's used for different aspects within our body. But we would say that that is the emotional realm, the feeling realm. So this is what Cancer represents. So also Cancer, well, it's obviously also seen as the mother all the time. However, it can be the father figure also. It's just a very caring person or very caring part of our chart, very caring part of ourselves. This is what I would say Cancer more stands for. Okay, let's see what else we have going on in our planet. So we have the sun in Cancer, and we will be having the solar eclipse new moon on the 2nd of July in Cancer. So right now though, the moon is in Taurus, having a bit of comfortability there before she starts exercising in Gemini later on at the end of the weekend, and then finally jumping in to be with Cancer, where they have a chit-chat, catch-up conversation. And at present now we've got Mercury in Leo. So this is our thoughts now being more inspired and thinking more on a heartfelt vision of things that we like to do. So Mercury is our thought patterns and our drive. So let's see what Mercury in Leo will bring us. So it says Mercury represents mind and is a quick moving planet that spends 2 to 3 weeks in each sign unless retrograde. With Mercury in Leo, everyone's style of communicating becomes more flamboyant. Words are used with extra finesse, and there could be great interest in impressing others by using mental energy. Ideas may become rigid though, so there may be more animation as information is shared. So Leo's a very animated fire sign, likes to keep moving, likes to keep it busy. So our thoughts will be looking at grand areas within our lives, how we can expand in a grand area, how also we can look at family, because Leo is the head of the pride. And so even though we're in Cancer season, we now have some fire energy to help Chiron, who is currently in Aries. And Chiron is like the wounded parts of ourselves. So we're learning now to heal the parts of ourselves, unlike when Chiron was in Pisces and we had the community helping to ease our wounds. Now we need to ease our own wounds and become very efficient about that. Also, Cancer is an initiating sign. It's one of the cardinal signs, and the cardinal signs are Cancer, Capricorn, Aries and Libra. So it's very initiating, very driven, but I think a lot of the time it's kind of hidden because it's a bit more subtle, but that doesn't give it any less drive or any less initiating aspects about itself. So we can look out for that as well, as the sun is currently sailing through Cancer. Okay, what else do we have? Right now, Venus is in Gemini, and so we had a look at that last time in the other video with the Sagittarius full moon. And so Venus will be stepping into Cancer. When will she be going in there? I think she'll be going in round about the 3rd. That's right, I think it's the day after the solar eclipse. So it's literally like the sun and the moon are together, and they're finding time literally for themselves. And so even though Venus loves being with the moon and Venus loves being in Cancer, she still has to wait out her time in Gemini and keep her thought patterns going and have uplifting thoughts. This is what Venus in Gemini can bring us. And when she moves into Cancer, she'll bring us much more comfort, much more of things that we need, that we value, and we'll be looking after ourselves in a much more caring way, as Venus in Cancer does, like the ultimate mother kind of figure. Okay, and then Mars also will be giving us some drive and passion in this month of July as it moves into Leo on the 1st of July. So Mars will be entering this eclipse with the sun and the moon actually. So Mars will be entering Leo. Okay, the Sun and the Moon are in Cancer. So Mars will be entering Leo on July the 1st. So that is going to give, like I was saying, Chiron in Aries, a bit more compassion, a bit more drive to heal ourselves. This is the way forward as we are coming into this new era. We need to know how to look after ourselves. And with this eclipse in Cancer and Capricorn, with the nodal axes, we're going to be seeing how we can balance work, life and authority with personal home values and family, and how we can bring compassion into these areas quite speedily. So let's see what else is going on in the chart. So the moon will be between 10 and 11 degrees for this Cancer solar eclipse. Okay, so at this time with the North Node being in Cancer, so this is our ways forward in life. This is the universe showing us this way. So it has to be in a very caring way, but also very affirmative. And so this is the North Node that we're going to have for 18 months. So it's been here for 6 months already, and we have another year. And so we're going in with this Cancer North Node in learning how to care for each other and ourselves on a very deep level. And we're going to be bringing it somehow, merging it with institutions wise, with the South Node being in Capricorn, that rules institutions and banking, etc., or large businesses. Okay, so you have to look wherever Capricorn is in your chart and where Cancer is in your chart, and these vibrations will be coming through. So you'll have a lot of initiation to mother things and to bring things forth into life. And on the south side, you'll be letting go of any rigid structures. And at this time, we'll be reaping what we sow. And we're going to reap what we sow from what we planted from 6 months ago. Because when we had the first eclipse of Cancer and Capricorn, that was around about the 16th of January, round about that time. And so we were having an illumination. I think we was having the new moon there, wasn't we, in Capricorn in January. And so this started off a process of things that we'll be letting go of in institutional wise, and we were going to towards a more caring aspect about ourselves. And so at this point, we're going to reap what we've sown within the 6 months. So see what you were doing round about, it's the 5th of January when we had the 15-degree solar eclipse there in Capricorn. Okay, so see what's been planted from the 6 months till now, until this eclipse on the 2nd of July, and see what bears fruition between these two aspects within your sign, within yourself also. Okay, we have Uranus, the planet of great change in Taurus, and this is at 5 degrees right now. We also have Chiron at 5 degrees of Aries. And so with these planets being next to each other, they're sending messages to each other. Uranus is sending new ideas on how we can look after health and the universe and the world around us. And Chiron is aiding us in being our own champion, in being our own master healer at this time. So we may be noticing these kind of energies coming through. Okay, let's have a look. What else did I write that's happening at this time? So how's it been? Did you all enjoy your solstice time? I really hope so. I went out and about with a few friends, and you can catch that video on Elle Productions right here. Okay, so let's see. We also have Neptune trining the North Node. Neptune's now at 18 degrees in Pisces. And so that's bringing a harmonious self. That's bringing some help from the outer planets. It's bringing some help from the gods, I would say, from the heavenly selves, I would say. So that beautiful trine there with Neptune and the North Node. So that's happening round about now. It'll be happening for a few weeks. We still also have Jupiter in Sagittarius, giving us some abundance, although it's in retrograde, so it's actually asking us, what do we spend our money on? What do we enlarge ourselves? How do we enlarge ourselves? Is it helpful to us, or is it being detrimental to us? And so it's giving us a chance to redo and rethink and re-see that. Okay, let me see what else I wrote. Okay, probably have a lot of supernatural experiences with this Neptune. With this Neptune trying the North Node, and we'll be meeting people who've been fated to meet. It's around about one of them times like, oh, if I didn't catch that bus, if I didn't miss that bus, I would never have met blah, blah, blah on the next bus. It's one of them kind of times that we're coming into. So you could look out for the guidance of Neptune there. Okay, so even though I said Mars and Mercury coming into fire signs, Juno, one of the asteroids, female asteroid planet, is said to be Jupiter's wife. Jupiter's said to be a bit of a playboy, bit of a flyboy, and so Juno, the wife, she's the first one actually to be entering the fire sign of Leo, and she's at 5 degrees now. She'll be at 5 degrees when we have this solar eclipse in Cancer. So Juno is going to help us work through relationships, really tough relationships, things that we wouldn't ordinarily say. We're going to have the courage to be saying this now and seeing how this will spur us on for the future. And we'll have our thoughts, our large thoughts with Mercury coming into Leo, so that will help us. Mars coming into Leo, give us more drive and passion while we're going through this time of eclipsing out areas within our life. Okay, and then we have a Mercury retrograde coming up, hooray! So Mercury rules our thoughts and our everyday actions, our driving, short distance travelling, our neighbours, anything to do with locality, also rules business. Mercury's the merchant, the original merchant, and so Mercury is going to be going retrograde, I think, on the 7th of July. That's right. So when Mercury is retrograde, they say it's not really good to sign any form of contract. It usually ends up being not the greatest of positions that you've put yourself in. It's very good for signing short-term contracts, like maybe a month or so, 6 weeks contract. But anything longer than that, no. If you're going to sign a year contract, you need to wait till Mercury comes back direct, which will be, I think it's around about the beginning of August time. So unless you really have to for a major product like a car or like an oven or something like that, a big purchase, I would say try and hold off, or either do it before it actually turns retrograde on the 7th. If you've had plans in mind, then you can do that. And if you necessarily have to sign something, then you can do that. I remember signing a work contract during Mercury retrograde. Oh my gosh. Quite a tough job, I would like to say. Didn't end too well either. So it's just a note to keep a note on that. Okay, what else do we have coming up with this solar eclipse? We also have 2 new moons. We have this one on the 2nd of July, which will be the solar eclipse. And we also have one on the 31st of July. So anybody who has birthdays around about this time, with a give or take few days, will be having great transformations happening within their life, especially on a soul or a personal level, due to it being the moon. Okay, so if we just wrap up, so the eclipse is going to be happening on the 2nd of July, between 10 and 11 degrees of Cancer. So see where that is on your chart. Sorry. And Cancer, we know, rules the home, our values. It's the mothering aspect of ourself, the goddess of ourself. It's definitely a time to look after the self. Maybe we're growing too big for our shell and we have to take time and grow a new one. We're very sensitive at this time, at the time of Cancer. And so we can look out for each other's feelings at this time. Okay. So let's see where the eclipse brings a change in your chart. And let's see. So look at responsibility for yourself and being the main caregiver of yourself. Yeah, it's good to heal others as we go along, but right now it's a healing of the self. Okay, very good. I think, and Cancer also rules the body part of the breasts and the stomach, the mothering area as ourselves, and also is connected with the heart. Even though they say Leo rules the heart, Cancer and Leo are so connected next to each other, and they are the two main luminaries, so they intertwine with each other, as do all parts of our bodies. Okay, let's draw some cards and see what we have for each sign. What I thought I would do is pull a theme card for the fire signs. For the water signs. For the water signs, I'll start with you first, shall I? Water signs, and see what themes will be coming up for you. These transformational cards by Nefertiti Iffy. So let's see what will be coming up for this eclipse for the fire signs. And it says career path. So the for the water signs, it says career path. There may be a great change in your career at this time, water signs. So that will be Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So look out for any changes that come through your career at this time of this Cancer solar eclipse, this new moon in Cancer. So that's for you, water signs. Okay, and let's see for the fire signs. Let's see what card theme you may be dealing with for this eclipse time in Cancer. And it says the body, and the fire signs are Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. So maybe you'll be having issues of the body. We do have Mars now in that drive of Leo, so the fire signs may be getting a boost in their bodily expressions, and so something to look out for at the solar eclipse. Okay, now we have the air signs, Gemini, okay, Libra and Aquarius, and let's see what theme you may be dealing with at this time. Okay, love. There you go, air signs. Maybe there'll be a collapsing in or out of the love situation. You'll be changing your values on love, or seeking more deeply into what you do love. So that's for you at this time. And earth signs, which are Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. Let's see what theme we have for you, shall we? This time of this solar eclipse. And the card that flipped over for you is friends. So there you go, earth sign. You may be getting a bit of a change up of your friends. Some issues may come up. Don't worry, there's lots of blessing and healings coming along at this time. And indeed, we need to care for each other at this time. Okay. I also bought some beautiful goddess cards while I was on my trip. And I thought I'd pull one of them for all of us. So I hope you all have an amazing solar eclipse in Cancer when it comes on the 2nd. Okay, card for all of us at this time. Oh, well, we got 3. Okay, where's me googs? They were here a second ago. Okay, I've got a one-armed goog today. Okay, and the first card is Thetis. Okay, I'm just going to read what the general situation is. Okay, Thetis is particularly known as a shapeshifter. Right. So Thetis is responsible for providing a peaceful sea. She is the center of peace and calm that is always available, even in the midst of changing forms. She is a goddess who enjoys life's pleasures. And indeed, we will do at this time of the solar eclipse, solar eclipse that we're having in Cancer. So we have Thetis with us there, giving us some joy and pleasures. And then we have the Sphinx, okay, a symbol of strength and wisdom and royal power. She reminds us that nothing comes to creation without some destruction, and that sometimes to solve a mystery, we must enter the darkness. The image reminds us that there is beauty even in the heart of that which terrifies. Okay, so you might have some spooky situations coming up And you must know that you always have the power to keep yourself going. Okay? Beautiful goddess. And the last one we have is Selene. Okay, let's see what Selene is. Selene is Phoebe, meaning bright and shining. She is traditionally represented with the crescent moon, with the crescent moon as a diadem. Selene represents the fullness of life, incorporating all phases of light and darkness in her shining. Okay, there we go. So these are the energies that will be helping us get through this solar eclipse. I hope you all have a blessed one, and leave a comment. Oops. Leave a comment, press the like button, share around with your friends, and thank you very much for joining me today at this time. Now you all take care. Thank you.